I'm back with another episode of Blast of Strangeness podcast. So, yes, if you read the title of this video, you are correct. This is the first time on this podcast that this is actually being mentioned. This is one of those topics that I was talking about that is being covered on this podcast now. So here it goes. So, the truth about Hollywood. So now, the famous people, for example, actors and actresses. So now, if you had seen some of these people in like a TV show on cable or streaming that you have watched, like on a specific television program, TV series, or a movie, perhaps, or if you had seen them in like a music video or whatever, just because their life, on that screen that you're watching them on, just because that may seem right there like it's all a bowl of cherries when you see them on the screen. No, just know that their lives are actually not are not actually a bowl of cherries like what you see on the screen or how they present it. Hollywood has this very bad reputation to treat people very badly that are famous. Like, I don't know if you had seen these type of videos on YouTube or not, but there's this one, for example, to where someone that was sometime in the 1990s, I think, someone that was on the TV show Power Rangers was actually treated very badly by Hollywood because of his sexuality. That's not a reason for Hollywood to treat people horribly. Oh, well, let me reassure you. Oh, they do. Then you wonder why so many of these famous people, all these big stars, behave the way they behave or act the way they act, or turn to things that they probably shouldn't do. Or sometimes it has resulted in them harming themselves very badly to the point where they have suddenly passed away. A lot of the time, it's all because of the pressure from Hollywood. But yeah, let me tell you something with that. So if you're one of those people who was treated very badly by Hollywood and then you decided to leave Hollywood and get a regular 9-to-5 job, just know that's okay too. So therefore, you would understand that type of pressure from Hollywood. Now, if you're someone who thought about being famous, you may want to rethink that with Hollywood awfully quick. For example, and, oh yes, another tactic that they use in Hollywood, they can also literally screw you over out of money too. That's Hollywood for you. You would be surprised how Hollywood really treats people for God only knows what reasons. But yet, then again, they can ruin your life no matter what you do. Even if you were a child actor, they ruin your life to the point where that stays and is carried with you till adulthood. Literally, believe it or not. Also, it's just one of those things, Unfortunately, that's how the Hollywood industry works. Once you sign with them, you are basically fucked. They own you. To them, all you are is just a profit to them. They look at you, they see dollar signs. That's all they see to you. So, technically, really, to Hollywood, you don't mean shit to them. You mean absolutely nothing. They just know that they have to pay your ass for the work. That's all they literally know about it. And they think, well, since we're paying you for this work, we could treat you however we feel. No. That's not how you treat people. Not even famous people. But you know what? That's probably why a lot of the famous people probably have done some horrible things. All because of the pressure of Hollywood. And a lot of the time, I sometimes often wonder why some of these famous people do the things that they do. And every time when something happens, you know what? It's always Hollywood that let this happen. All the damn time. So, yeah, just know that if you're famous, you probably already know this, the pressure of Hollywood. Just know that's how they treat you. And anyone who's probably famous watching this could probably relate to what I'm talking about. Unfortunately, that's just how Hollywood is. Like I said, to Hollywood, you mean nothing to them. But then again, they don't care. That's just the way they operate. So here you would think that Hollywood would not treat people like that. Oh, no, they do. Trust me. I mean, you're one of the people probably thinking, they don't treat me like that. I'm famous. Oh, if they don't, they will. Watch and see. But you know what? Yeah, I mean, that's great, to have fame and all, the fame and the fortune, but is it worth it? Well, yeah, granted, yeah, you may have lots of money after and suddenly have everything you ever wanted, but in reality, a lot of the time, it's not even worth it. Then again, trying to escape the Hollywood life, that's totally. A lot of the time, I can see why somebody famous would want to escape the Hollywood life like that. With good reason. And you know what? I mean, yes, Hollywood probably, if you're someone famous and you're probably like, you left that Hollywood life behind and even though it still ruined your life and all, you're probably just glad to be the hell out of there. That's for sure. And like I said, you would probably know exactly what I'm talking about, how Hollywood really is. Now, yeah, like I said, I'm sure there's perks to being famous, but I'm also sure there's horrible hidden things behind it. Then again, that's, like I said, unfortunately, that's just the real reality of the world of Hollywood. But here you think they would actually be nice to you. Nope. Not in the slightest. Yeah, they may be nice to you at first to get you in. Till they think, oh, well, we're being nice to you, so now you're hooked. Don't fall for it. You're honestly better off not being famous if you want the real reality and the truth. Yeah, I mean, I know it's probably great to have all that money like that, but look at the way you have to be treated like shit in order to actually get that money. That's not a way to do it. No. That's unfair. That's uncalled for. But you know what? The way Hollywood treats people, Hollywood ought to be held responsible for that. And the sad part is, 9 times out of 10, Hollywood is never held responsible for their own actions. That's the truth right there, too. And yes, I just said it. Wow, no viewers. That content must not be all that interesting about that then. Whatever. If we get a viewer, we get a viewer. If not, whatever. I'll just sit here and talk. Either way. Part 3 and 4, this was just supposed to be the surprise to this. That's all it was supposed to be, was just a surprise to this. only because of last week's issue. With the filming ran into a power outage problem and an issue because of things. I'll try it. You want me to try the damn thing? Well, how do you want to try this damn thing if no one ain't doing a goddamn thing? Oh, whatever. Okay, so if anyone famous is watching this or whatever, say you were famous by Hollywood and nowadays you're working a regular job and no longer famous, please feel free to email the podcast if you want about that. We can talk about anything about that, or if you have anything to say on that, comment. Please email the podcast for that, and I will read it right here on the podcast, and we'll go from there and maybe even get you on the podcast. Now, before you hit that subscribe button, please read the disclaimer up above. Thank you. Now, you have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. I would suggest all of them. But anyway, that's your choice. Please feel free to like, share, comment, and subscribe. But make sure the comments are in the email. Thank you. That's all I ask. Anyway. This video is probably not going to get any views, but whatever. Make it 1. Maybe 2. Anyway, so let's see. So, now, does anyone on here think that Hollywood should be held responsible for their bad behavior? If you agree, just send a comment to the email. Yes, the email is in the description, also where you'll find the disclaimer. So please look there. And this video is not to put anyone down or anything. It's just about how the industry really is, the truth about it, and why, if you want to be famous, you technically should think twice beforehand. So if you're someone famous watching this, I just hope that helps you. Or if you're someone who wants to be famous by Hollywood, but before you do that, I just hope this helps you. And as a warning, be careful, because that could go very sour for you. There's also a chance that Hollywood may not treat you that way. That is a possibility too. Now, with that, does anyone have anything to say about that? If so, feel free to speak now or forever hold your peace. Chats are on, you know. You can ask a question. Okay. No questions. Interesting. All right. So, anyway. So let's see. Oh, also something else a lot of you don't probably know this, but if you haven't watched any of the other episodes of this podcast, please feel free to go back and watch them. Start from the beginning, because I put a lot of content out. A lot of content. I put it out. Also, I know there's probably a chance that last week's episode was very short. That was due to a few things, which I'm going to just mention here briefly. It was due to a personal issue I had with someone, and it was also due to a power outage. So you kind of can't film a live YouTube video during well, you could, but it's kind of hard to film it without internet and electricity. So that part, that's a little unfortunate. But yeah, I can't believe, wow, literally almost 4 episodes within just a little bit of time. I know, ain't that something? Wow. That's what I said. So, now let's see here. So, anywho, now, does anyone not like the content, or do you like the content? What is it exactly? You really should just let me know. Because let me know what you want to have be talked about here on the podcast. Because there is a chance, however, that anything you want me to talk about on the podcast, I can. And I could also get you on the podcast, no questions asked. But in order for that to happen, you would actually have to email the podcast and go from there. And that's kind of how it works. But it just seems like when this podcast put some rules in place, it seems like that some people didn't like it, and there was a drop in a lot of things after that. That's just another issue, and I don't like that. Just know that. And another thing, just to let you all know, I would be careful about what you're going to say to me in the comments. Oh, and if you're here to be rude, just know you can get off the podcast right now. Because it's not going to be fucking tolerated. That's for sure. That's a true story on that. Yeah, so last week's episode was only like 8 minutes and 1 second long. I know, that's horrible. But unfortunately, I had limited resources, so that's what ended up happening, and that's very unfortunate. But that's besides the point. Is there anything else? Oh, yeah. Anyway, so yes, I did get this mic instead, because this mic, as you can see, this one right here, doesn't like to work all that well when the air conditioner is on. It does have a one of those noise cancellation things just in case, but sometimes it works, other times it don't, or whatever. But that's besides the point with that. So now like I said, just be sure to watch the podcast. It's usually weekly, but sometimes sometimes it can change where it may be within the same week another episode. Not always. And yes, this podcast is also recorded in real time. That's another thing. I also wanted to say that. Yeah, it's a real podcast that is recorded in real time. May not be the number one podcast, but you know what? It's still a podcast. Now, the podcast has had some guests on it before. One was a creepy, one was just a very blue silent guest, which reminds me of that song by Eiffel 65. You know, that song by Eiffel 65. I can't remember the name of it, but it reminds me of that song, that silent blue guest. Then there was that creepy looking bunny guest that was on here, who was also a silent guest. I know. That's like the only guests that ever have been on the podcast so far. Well, this podcast is usually a one-man show. There's really not much more I can say about that. But, it's not always a one-man show, but it is right now for the time being. So please just feel free to email the podcast and go from there. So now, yes, if you're wondering, I will also be doing more things on this podcast about the mental health and the mental illness and any type of conditions related to those. Yes, there will be more about that in future videos for future episodes of the podcast as well. Like I said, just know that this podcast is a safe space. It's a judgment-free space. You can feel safe to listen to this podcast. No judgment at all. No judgment at all. That's just how this particular podcast actually works. So anyway, I just wanted to just say that too. Anyway, so just know that's the majority of what I was just yakking about. Just please be careful if you decide to be famous with Hollywood. Just know that could end very badly for you in the long run. It can also cause a lot of after effects, aftermath, things related to that nature. So I would just please be very careful before you sign anything to literally have Hollywood own you. Just be careful. That's all I'm saying. Honestly, you would probably have a better chance of probably going in the military instead of being treated horribly by Hollywood. Or you'd probably have a better chance of of actually having a podcast on YouTube or something. Or you'd probably have a better chance of working at like Burger King or something. Or you'd probably have a better chance of working at Walmart instead of having to deal with Hollywood. Yeah. I would say you'd probably have a better chance of doing something related to that nature. I just wanted to say that. Besides, yes, and I apologize for last week's episode being very short with limited resources, which sucks. Yeah, that does suck. And that was just horrible, that whole thing, Not to mention, you could actually start a podcast on YouTube for literally next to nothing or very dirt cheap if you have to spend any money. Oh yeah, that can happen. Believe it or not. I know that for a fact because I actually have seen it happen. I know. That's what I thought. It's like, wait, what? You know? Oh yeah. Oh, I know. All right, that's for sure. So anyway, now, does anyone have anything to say? Also, be sure to hit the subscribe button on the YouTube channel. I'm sure if this don't get views right now, I'm sure it will. Anyway, a lot of you probably don't know this, but a while back, I actually got audited by YouTube. I'll tell you about that. Hold on one second. One sec. So, what had ended up happening was I had gotten audited. I basically just had to prove that I'm a real human, which I am, but I just had to prove it. I just had to prove it from YouTube's and with their AI generated little system. Their AI system thing just wanted to make sure that I was a real human, and obviously I am. And now, also for a future episode of the podcast, I'm also going to mention how for future episodes how I'm tired of people not thinking that things are actually real and that supposedly I'm not real and all this other shit. Oh, yeah. That's been another big issue, too. So, here I am a real human, but yet a lot of people think I'm not real, that I never existed in the first fucking place. Yeah, well, you know what? Reality, I do exist for real in the first place. For real in the first place. I just wanted to say that too. So because a lot of people probably think that I don't, and that I was never real. It's been another thing. So just know that I am actually real, and that I am human. Why, if I wasn't real, would I be out here doing this podcast right now? No. Don't think so. No, I don't think so. So therefore, I'm real and I'm doing this podcast. Ain't life sweet? That's what I'd like to know. Anyway, so I just don't know why that people love to assume all these things. And you know what? People have... I just don't know why people always look down on others. And example, I don't know why people have always looked down on me. Certain people for no reason. Whatever. Be that way. Seriously. It's fine. Yeah, well, that's something else that I'm sick and tired of, When I've done nothing wrong to people, people still look down on me for no reason. Oh, I've been dealing with that shit my whole fucking life, man. For real. That's another thing. But people who have looked down on me, let me tell y'all something now. Look us 500 and some subscribers on YouTube. Oh, and look who actually filmed a beginning of a very short movie on YouTube Shorts on their YouTube channel called The Definitive Nightmare. Me. That's who. And so then this other time in school, this same teacher made us do another assignment. Something one time about, what would your dream home be? So I decided to keep mine very simple, This is exactly what I said. I had said, I'd like to, probably have a 4 to 5 bedroom, double wide trailer with at least 2 bathrooms, and, have an add-on space, to have an indoor pool or something, or any type of pool structure, And, it is possible to have it done like that, as long as you're going to pay for it, which, that's what I wanted at the time. So, needless to say, I jot that down on the assignment like she told us to do. And then she got pissed off with me and got mad. Then she goes and says to me, "Oh, well, that's not the real reality. That's not how that actually works." I was like, "Oh, just because you can't see the vision doesn't mean that it could not ever happen." And she's like, "Well, you missed the point of the assignment." I was like, "You know what? Fuck you. I didn't miss the point of shit." I looked right at her. I said, "Oh, did you ever think it might have been your shitty teaching skills as a teacher?" So I said, "So now who missed the assignment?" Oh, she just looked at me and didn't say 2 words. That's a true story on that shit with that bitch. But yeah, and this bitch is qualified to be a teacher. That's what I would love to know. Oh, I'm sure she's retired now. Well, whatever. Stay retired, ugly bitch. And she was an ugly, dumb bitch anyway. I couldn't fucking stand her. In fact, I couldn't fucking wait for her to be out of my life and be gone and done with her ugly ass. That's for sure. Oh, yeah. She had constant fucking nerve, man. Like, you wouldn't believe half the shit I could tell you how she really was. Oh, yeah. That's another thing. That I've gotten into before on other episodes. Now, there will be more content on that, too. More about it. So, also be sure to look for that. To stay tuned for that, because that content will actually also be coming. Not to worry. Yeah, there will be plenty more episodes with more content. Even if something was already covered, just know there may be more to cover on it, or I may recover it again. And I have every right. It's my podcast, my show. I'm in control. And that's that. Also, now this podcast. Also, please follow all the rules. Thank you. Now, one thing I would not recommend during this podcast, videos when you're watching them, I would also recommend, please do not operate heavy machinery while watching this video, as it may cause disturbance to something, or it may distract you. Maybe not be able to hear the podcast. I just wanted to throw that out there too, as another disclaimer. So, now, are y'all liking the episodes of the podcast? Please feel free to email the podcast. The email is in the description. Where the disclaimer also is. And yes, the email is there. I've seen it. It's there. So please email the podcast. If you like the episode, you want more of this content, you got to email the podcast. I got to know this shit. Now, there will also be more slumlord landlord videos that'll also be covered on the podcast. Along with that, like I said, anything that's been already talked about on here, there will definitely be more content coming about it. If it's already been talked about, it'll just be talked about again. Just in case if you missed something, or there's something in particular about that topic segment that you want me to talk about, I can and I will. So, just know that as well. If you're interested in that, please feel free to reach out to the podcast. Damn it, this thing almost fell off here again. I do not know why that keeps happening, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize. So now, yes, this podcast before has ran into some technical difficulties, which is not a surprise to me at all. That's just another thing. But unfortunately, it does happen from time to time. And it's just unfortunate. It's just one of those things. And I will see you all in part 4, the next episode. Now, right now, this is part 3. Stay tuned for part 4. Part 4 is on its way. And I will see you all in part 4. Bye.